Okay, today we're going to talk about Misty Knight, one of my favorite Marvel characters of all time. She's this very interesting case in massive resilience, identity, and adaptive strength. Like, she adapts to everything. And Misty's different than a lot of heroes that you see because her basis is not rooted in vengeance or necessarily trauma. It's rooted in service and justice, like this sense of community protection. That's really what's at the core of Misty. And she starts off being a New York City police officer who defines herself through this service, like giving back. And losing her arm wasn't just a physical trauma, this was an existential trauma because it stripped her of this uniform identity that was so much a part of her and this institution that she had this like give and take affair with in terms of like getting things done. And while a lot of people would crumble under having their identity really shattered like that, Misty takes that wound and she reinvents herself. Now, it's a little bit easier when you got some Stark tech, but what this does is this symbolically represents her transformation from being an agent of the system to being a force outside the system. So she no longer represents that authority, but she represents justice, given out on her terms. And for her personality type, this is just very liberating and isolating at the same time because she's out on her own. Now, we can see with Misty, she has some trust and control issues, and you see it in her relationships. It was especially with Danny Rand, Iron Fist, or Luke Cage. This is a woman constantly negotiating trust, and this is coming from a place where she's been betrayed by her body, by bureaucracy, and sometimes lovers. So she's very cautious. So she doesn't hand over trust lightly. This isn't paranoia; it's self-preservation. So what she does is she also balances a fine line of masculine and feminine duality. Obviously, Misty Knight is always portrayed as a very attractive woman, but she does come on with a very hard hand, literally a steel arm. She's a very sharp detective. She's no nonsense, but her softness shows in her loyalty, her ability to nurture partnerships. She's very charismatic, and psychologically she balances these two codes while still exuding these female traits, her emotional intelligence, her sense of community. And this dual core is central to her identity. She doesn't bend into being one thing for anyone, and that's kind of central to her. And then, of course, the prosthetic arms. This isn't just a tool. This is an anchor for who she is. It represents her ability to adapt, survive. Technology is an extension of her will. She doesn't see herself as broken. She sees herself as upgraded. And this shift in perception is psychologically massive. She takes on a symbol of disability and reframes it with empowerment. And compare this to how other characters with prosthetics struggle with their self-worth, Misty really embraces it and owns it. And she's clearly the archetype of the classic knight. That's obviously why they named her that. She embodies, that the warrior who defends values greater than herself. And unlike some heroes who are motivated by their vengeance, she's motivated by her moral compass rooted in community survival. She's less of an avenger of the past and more of a guardian of right now, the present. So psychologically, she does thrive on being needed, which makes her kind of vulnerable to burnout or disillusionment. So things that take their toll. But she is a woman that has shown that she's been fractured but never broken. Her psyche reflects this adaptive capability. She can go from officer to vigilante, to partner to leader, to victim to symbol of empowerment. And her resilience is not just about denying pain, it's about integrating into her identity and still standing tall. So if you have more to add, please do so in the comment section. As always, let me know what the characters you want to do a deeper dive into.